If the AK-47 is a rifle fit for a foe, then this is its foil. A yin to the AK-47's yang, a powerful rival offering alternate characteristics and trade-offs, and like in CSGO, positioned as a tool for the good guys. The M4, a sleeker, lighter, more compact weapon than its predecessor, the M16, offering a solution for a more modern, close-quarters fighting era. Synonymous with the United States, its profile is organized and precise, especially when compared to the AK-47, which can look ancient with its wooden stock, grip, and handguard. Today we'll explore how this rifle came to be, why it's positioned as the weapon of the good guys, and chat with Enable, TenZ, Emuhleet, and more to break down its role in esports. The M4 is a staple in modern media, recognizable in movies and games around the world. Within gaming and esports, it's the weaker option when compared to the AK. Take CSGO for example, where the M4 is more accurate and fires a smaller caliber faster than the AK-47. This is an accurate depiction. In the real world, the AK-47 does actually fire at a slower rate of 600 RPM and throws at a larger 7.62 caliber, making it a little more difficult to wield. In the 2020 Call of Duty League, the M4 was a common sight in professional lineups. Extremely customizable, and with the pace of the game, a faster fire rate, quicker reload speed, and lower recoil meant the difference between walking away from an engagement or respawning. Over in Rainbow Six Siege, the M4 makes an appearance with Maverick, showcasing an average rate of fire and middle-of-the-road damage, while Ash, another common picked operator in Siege, wields an M4 carbine variant, the R4C. Valorant also pulls in its own version of the M4 called the Phantom. While not an exact replica of what we're used to, it does sit on the opposite side of the Vandal, the game's version of the AK, and it follows the similar fundamentals of its origins: higher rate of fire, lower damage, but easier to control. To break down facts from fiction around the M4, let's bring in our weapons expert, Hugh Daly.
Hi, I'm Hugh Daly. I'm a military historical advisor to video games, film, and television. Today, I want to talk to you about the M4, synonymous with the United States Armed Forces. It has a lineage that goes all the way back to the 1950s, seen a lot in the 1960s in the Vietnam War footage. But first, let's talk about the originator, the Armalite AR-15, designed by Eugene Stoner in 1959. Looks nothing like anything that ever came before it. It certainly doesn't look like anything the Soviets created. So this is the CAR-15. It's basically an M16, but shortened to a 10.5-inch barrel. The original one had a triangular handguard here. That didn't work very well. It wasn't very comfortable to use, and they tended to get broken because it was just simple plastic sides. Then they came up with this round design, which really is carried on through the 1990s into the early 2000s. The front muzzle of the weapon, because the barrel was so short, on the original ones it's a 10-inch barrel. This is a Delta M4, very rare weapon. They're all hand camouflaged and they can do just about anything to any weapon. Picatinny rail, standard now on almost every M4 that you'll see. This one has a EOTech red dot sight, which is good to out to about, realistically, about 300 yards. Gone away completely from the plastic. This is a lightweight composite material, and then a light on the front. Referring back to the earlier styles, the M16 had a 3-prong flash hider on the early one that was fielded in Vietnam. This one is designed as a muzzle brake, so that the energy from firing it goes out of both sides. It certainly cuts down on the recoil. Standard now for the M4 is the 30-round magazine. This is a 30 round with the easy pull tab to get it out of your pouch and get it into the weapon. But the actual mechanism, the guts of this weapon, is virtually unchanged from the earlier variations. And I could literally take this apart and put a Vietnam upper, an AR-15 upper, or an M16 upper onto this low, and it would fit. And that's one of the unique features about the M4 series of weapons, the interchangeability. That's something that the AK really cannot do. There are different variations in the AK and the AKM and the PKM, but the M4 is very unique in its ability to be interchangeable and to have multitude of roles and parts within the unit and also within the army.
The M4 shows up just as often, if not more, in gaming. In Counter-Strike you have two options, the M4A4 or the silenced M4A1S. We'll let the pros take it from here to weigh in on why the M4 is a solid all-around choice.
MSL Ghost, he splashed out, it works perfectly!
My name is Dylan Price, won the World Championship in 2015. The M4 is currently not used in Black Ops Cold War because the players just found the weapon too good and kind of cheesy, whereas like usually an SMG will play like an SMG, but the M4 was kind of just the do-it-all weapon where it was better than the SMGs up close, it was the best gun medium range, and then also still better than the ARs at long range. That gun was just incredible. The fire rate was insane. I think he had like 40-something bullets in it. That it was either you use it or you're gonna lose.
My name is Ian Enable Wyatt. I am a current content creator for 100 Thieves. The M4 was the perfect mix. You know, it had a little bit of everything. It was a very easy gun to use, but you could also be very versatile with it. You know, you didn't have to play super slow. You could be a little bit more aggressive and kind of use different mechanics. When it comes to competitive, you want a gun that has a very fast fire rate. You want something that has power, but you want to be able to control the recoil.
He had to reload, did he get the kill? No, Empire gets the defuse! I think he ran out of ammo!
Hey guys, I'm Emuhleet. I'm the team captain and in-game leader for Dignitas all-women's CSGO and Valorant team. I think everyone's main weapon of choice would be the M4, and that's because this is a weapon where you didn't need that much good accuracy and you could easily do spray downs if you wanted to for a multi-kill. The good thing about using the M4 is that you can easily spray down a lot of your opponents. The bad thing about the M4 is you can see the tracers through smokes, so if the enemy team is rushing a site and you're trying to spray them down through the smoke, you're more likely to get killed or dealt a lot of damage back because they can see exactly where you're spraying them from. One of the main differences I noticed between the Phantom and the M4A1S was probably the recoil. That was something that I had to adjust a little bit. With the M4A1S, I thought that I could aim more at the head and not have to spray down towards the body so much, but with the Phantom, I have to use it a little bit more differently and get used to the recoil as well.
Hi, I'm Preeti Kunalkar. I'm the senior producer on premium content. I've been on Valorant about 5 years. With the Phantom, we actually wanted something, because the gun is silenced, to reflect that it is a silenced weapon and pair it with the names that we used for the Ghost and for the Spectre. So when we initially started with these like very basic generic dev names, because we didn't know what we would ultimately name them. And like week to week, we were like changing the names, and that's not great for development. So we basically pretty much decided early on that they would all be named after silenced, like something like ninja, should they be like ghostly type things? And we settled ultimately on like the ghostly thematic. And then we literally on the board wrote out like Spectre, Ghost, and Phantom. We're like, which one of these sounds the most dangerous? And that's how we named them. And funny enough, the carbine, what is now the Phantom, was actually called the Ghost. So they flipped a little bit. So it's a little bit confusing even when we talk about it.
Oh my god, this gun is so broken.
When I think of the Phantom, right now, I think it's kind of OP. I'd say in the current meta, if I see a Phantom and a Vandal, I'd probably pick up the Phantom just because the Phantom is probably easier to use due to the easier to control spray pattern, shoots faster, higher DPS at close to mid-range. So most of the time, you can probably get an easy kill with it.
Just hold your movement key. This gun is so good. Oh my god, why did I ever try using the Vandal?
I'm Rivington III. I've been a commentator for the better part of 20 years now. The Phantom in itself has risen so much in usage between everybody in the Valorant scene. It definitely feels like when people are using a Phantom, they have a little bit more freedom to take those spray shots, make those transfer plays, be a little bit more kind of careless in an entry because you can swing and fire. And I feel like you get a lot more straight off gunfights if you're going with a Phantom.
Faster, lighter, more accurate. When you're not feeling your aim, the M4's got your back. When you need something consistent, you can depend on the M4. It may not always be the flashiest, and you may not frag out as hard, but the difference between winning and losing in esports is hitting your shots and walking away from a fight. And in this way, the M4 will always have a role on the team.